Got my water.
Is this a pantsless stream or pants on or pants off stream?
I have pants on.
I'm wearing pants today. It's
We're live. Hi,
57 degrees. I don't want shit. We're live.
Yeah, we're live. Hi, everyone. Yeah, my name is Bruce, and with me today is lovely Janet from another planet. You look kind of sparkly there in your cave outfit. And we have Snake Plissken down in the bottom row there. Hello there, Josh. How you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Fantastic. Yeah, I'm so sorry for pants. We are fresh out of the movie viewing The Descent from 2005, directed by Neil Marshall with Shauna McDonald and Rose. I thought I heard myself for a second.
You did. I had to turn it down.
Got Natalie Mendoza and Shauna McDonald along with Alex Reed in that movie. And we just saw it for the umpteenth time for me. Josh, you've seen this before, right?
Oh, yeah. Many a time.
Janet.
Ooh. Butter.
Janet, you are a usual viewer of new movies, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
This movie is new to you.
Well, no, this movie, I'd seen it before. It's just been since it came out. But there was a lot I didn't remember seeing. And I didn't think I'd seen it because I thought this was the other one that he talked about earlier, but it was called The Cave. And I didn't see that one.
Okay.
So I got them mixed up, what they were. But the thing is that the creatures in this movie look to me like the new movie that just came out, Nosferatu, that they took a lot of sculptures or something from this movie and put it in their movie. Because I went and saw Nosferatu.
That was an awesome movie.
Oh, I loved it. It was so good. It was so scary. This one was pretty scary, and it was really good. I mean, I was really impressed at how good it was. After I started looking it up, about the sets, because the whole thing was done on sets. I know they couldn't do it in the cave because, at least most of it, because there's no way they would be able to get all the people in there to film it with that many, people starring in the movie.
They really wanted to. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, it looks like they did, even though they didn't.
Yeah, they wanted to put this movie in a cave so bad, and Neil's kind of a dick on things, and he's like, you mentioned that a couple times. He's like, this would have been
insurance alone.
Yeah, it just would have caused problems with logistics. That's the main thing, but. This is a movie about a kind of like a twofold movie because you got a movie that starts off about a bunch of girls that are chick power or girl power types and they're rock girls. They go out and do extreme sports. Remember extreme stuff, guys? Extreme Funyuns, extreme fucking snowboarding bullshit on ESPN2 and MTV. And remember all that? Remember the Triple X movie?
It took over half of the 90s, that extreme.
Yeah, extreme.
Like whoever the was that came up with that advertising should be like hung by his toenails.
God, you're being gentle.
For fuck's sake.
Extreme. So they made this movie, and it was a neat film, but the way it starts off, you're like, oh, they're river rafting, and then a couple sidelong glances. The husband's paying a little bit too much attention to Juno, played by Natalie Mendoza, and Sarah, played by Shauna McDonald, notices this, but she's more interested in seeing her daughter again. She loves her daughter. Daughter's a little cutie, by the way, and I believe that one's played by the niece or the daughter of Neil Marshall. So, introducing 7-year-old child. The movie gets to a nice start, and then there's a car wreck, and husband and daughter die. And fuck, if the movie just doesn't go downhill for poor Sarah after that.
Well, not really, because it was kind of bright. She had all her friends, a couple of them closer. And the one who died later in the movie with the short brown hair, she was the closer to her than Juno was,
Yeah,
basically.
Beth.
Uh, and
Beth
they,
was kind of like the mama hen of the group.
Yep.
yeah. Mhm.
She like
And,
had everybody rallied together.
but
The one that
She was
I don't
the
want to say
ego.
that she was egotistical, even though she was egotistical, because we find that out later. But she was the go getter. Like, let's go
yeah,
do
she
the
was the one that
extreme
was
stuff.
always trying to top everyone else. It's all of us have that in our lives. We all have a friend that always wants to do better or achieve higher than we did. You know. So the thing is that I thought it was a kind of bright that her friends wanted to take her out and let her have a time to, just relax and have fun, do something within nature. A lot of people think that, nature is the way to heal. You know what I mean? People go camping or fishing, you know, uh, go on a vacation and zip lining, things like that. I mean, I did zip lining on my vacation, but no one's thinking about it being trapped or any of that stuff. You're just thinking about the relaxation of it and the bonding between all the friends. And it'd been over a little over a year, so they felt it was time for her to go out and do something again, as a group. So I thought that was a nice thing. If my friends came to get me to take me out on the weekend out, ladies the weekend or whatever, I would want to go, especially if I'd had so many bad tragedies happen to me. And just want to, because, when they're all talking about stuff before they end up getting up and going, going, on the trip, they, they were all trying to be very careful about, until the one comment the one girl made on accident and said, I can't wait to, go out and meet somebody so I can have babies or whatever. And that, that kind of hurt her a little bit because she already had a daughter that died. And a lot of people who lose their children don't have another child because they don't want to have that loss, that could happen again. It's just not, to them, it's not worth it. So that was emotional, but to me, I didn't think bad about any of it. I thought that, I assumed right at the beginning when the husband acted the way he did, he kind of acted weird with Juno when they were getting out of the boat and stuff at the beginning. So I had a suspicion that if I'd seen that and I was with them, I would have said, something's fishy going on there.
Yeah.
So, but the wife didn't see it. Remember, she was busy doing stuff with the daughter and everything. So she didn't see.
She was ignoring it, I think.
Well, she might have,
Definitely
but that's a
ignoring
lot
it,
of times we
because they
don't,
were
we
almost going
don't,
to
we don't see it.
get into the conversation in the car. Remember?
Well, no, she said you seem
Yes.
distant. You just don't seem like you're enjoying yourself. But that doesn't mean she knew. Just believe me, there's tons of wives that are totally clueless because they just think that their husband's having a
With,
bad day
with the
or
setup,
something. So,
with the
you
setup in
know,
the beginning, there was all of tension between
tension.
them.
There was
Their marriage wasn't the
suspicion.
happy-go-lucky that
Yeah.
you know.
Hmm.
So this was the subtle way of her saying, you want to say something, because this would have been a typical argument for the hotel
Yeah,
or back home.
but you got to remember, she's a mom. She has a mom and she had her daughter in the backseat. She's not going to bring up, "Hey, are you fucking what's her name?" in front of her kid. She's not going to do it. So she was just saying, basically, she was trying to be supportive to him because she still loved him. It was her husband, and she probably didn't even know that they were having an affair. And that happens every day. I hate to say it. Tons. Talk to lots of women that don't know that their husband is having an affair, or men that don't know their wives are having an affair. So we're always the last to know. That's the way it is, right? That's what people always say.
You hope for the best, and like the best being that like you're totally clueless about your spouse's infidelity the whole time. Like you
Because
thought you were happily married, you thought you
love
had
them.
somebody
You
that gave
love
you
them, and you want to
things.
see the best of them. You want to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Exactly.
But that's reality. To me, that was very realistic. And then the fact that she ran out of her room down the hallway to her best friend crying, and all the other ones were emotionally devastated because she knew that her daughter and her husband were gone forever. And that she lived, because of what had happened to him. But it was gruesome, and you didn't get to even see the daughter die, which was great. I'm glad we didn't. All
I'm
you
so
saw was
happy we did not.
you saw the husband's hand just jiggling in the car.
Yeah.
No, it was horrible. It was hard.
The angle that the fucking copper rods were piercing the windshield, you knew it hit the husband, and there was another copper rod just off center from where it would have pierced the guy on the middle side of the road, because it didn't look like they were in England the way that was traveling. Maybe they had flipped the fucking lens, but he was driving on the left side of the road, and his vehicle steering wheel was on the right. So this was kind of funky, if you ask me, just the way.
No, that was legitimate because remember, her friends were all from Europe. They were in Europe, okay?
Oh, they were in Europe? Okay.
Yeah, she left and went to America, okay? And that's where her other friend was at, the one that died.
That's right.
Okay, and that's why I told you they zoomed in on the license plate to let you know they're now in North Carolina, and all her friends are coming.
That's right. They had European plates to start.
Take her out. So see, that's what I'm saying. It was supposed to be a fun event. Let's look at the picture they took together on the front of the cabin before they went out, because they were trying to start a new life. Yeah, go back to that one photo. But they were trying to start a new beginning. They're best friends, and they're going to start a whole new life now, basically reborn. Basically, it's what they were thinking or trying to do, even though there was undercurrent there, because a couple of them knew that Juno was sleeping with her husband, that type of thing. And you always have that. You're going to always have that. I know guys do it. There'll be two, if you have a group of 6 guys and at least 2 of your friends know that you're sleeping with the other friend's wife. You know what I'm saying? So I hate
to say you're right, but fuck, you're right.
I know I'm right, because I have lots of guy friends and I have lots of girlfriends that have been through the same stuff. And, but the sad thing is, I just tell them that don't do anything in front of me, because I haven't seen anything yet. I have suspicions, but don't do anything in front of me, because I won't be able to keep my mouth shut. That's what I tell my friends. I'm one of those friends. So, well. But it made sense to me. I didn't think if it was being suspicious or anything, because some people were saying that they thought that, and the reason a lot of people thought that it was a setup. Sorry, I got a dry throat. I don't know what's going on, but is because when she tells her friend that Juno killed her, well, she did kill her, but the circumstances didn't come out, because Juno didn't do it on purpose. She didn't realize that it was her. She had just battled 2 of those creatures, and it's dark in there. Now, it was lighter for us because, that's the only way they could film it. But in that battle, the heat of the battle, when she turned around and had that axe, that's just, and it's sad to say. And what are you going to do? Go tell everybody, I just killed her. I just killed her. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, I can understand that why she would think that. But we don't even know if she ever saw Juno again, really, because a lot of that could have been just in her imagination, or one of them's imagination, because of the chaos that was going on in there. Someone could even say there wasn't even any creatures, that she freaked out and killed all of her friends.
Well, there's a theory that it would have been solidified if she would have had a vision in the hospital of one of the little crawlers. Then the entire thing would have been like fabricated in her mind, and she would have never possibly healed whatsoever. Mm-hmm. But it is an interesting film for the fact that, like, it is a neat character study into like the women energy and the woman's mindset, because there's a lot of that in this film. I mean, you have all female characters, all female cast basically, mm-hmm. and there's, for it being all female led, there's a lot of them that really do a hell of a job doing more than just being nurturers. Juno in particular, she's kind of the main antagonist driving force of this movie. And she's really not trying to be a bad girl. She's just greedy.
She's trying to survive.
No. Before she got in the cave, she was fucking greedy.
Well, yeah, about the whole thing, because she was trying to show that she was the best of the best, basically. Mm-hmm. And we all have friends like that. They always want to be at the top. Okay. So that part. But I'm talking about when the shit hit the fan. She was just in really good shape because she's always outdoors doing lots of outdoorsy things, just like the other girl, the young the lesbian, I guess you could call her, that one, the lesbian type one. She was very athletic too, because she was going up and down the ropes and everything, like, and the other one, the one that made the walkway for them with the ropes.
Yep.
She was in shape. You know how hard that is to hang by one arm?
Yes. It's not.
Yeah,
It's
it's freaking
not as height weight appropriate. It was different, Janet.
just to do it that way. That she was in good shape, but
Yeah.
they were all in pretty good form because all of them were very athletic. It's just that all of them didn't do caving. Some of them just did.
This was their first expedition into the underground, and the script reflected that very well. For girls that were quote unquote extreme, they'd never done this before, and it was above their pay grade. It really was. That was pretty evident for the fact that if they would have known about how unstable limestone caverns are, they shouldn't have gone down there.
Nope.
For those of you who don't know, caving is one of the most dangerous vocations or hobbies to be involved with. So many people die a year that are not supposed to be where they're at. And main proponent of that is the fact that a lot of limestone caverns don't have other minerals to help support the surfaces and structures of these caverns. So any disturbance within them will rattle them apart and they collapse. You're welcome. There's a tip from Bruce.
Yeah.
Don't go caving.
Well, I would never do that anyways. The big caves aren't so bad, but those little ones, I couldn't have done it. I wouldn't even have been able to go down that first hole they went in.
Josh, can you hear me?
I'm sorry, Josh.
Josh, you got stepped on a little bit. You all right, bro? You bud?
Oh, yeah. I was just saying that there's plenty of stories online to prevent you from spelunking.
There's a lot of
in there, and then water filling up, and they drown or they get slowly crushed. It's a cool hobby, but you got to be safe and you got to be smart about it. And
I would
for
disagree.
fuck's sake, don't go in when there's troglodytes because they'll eat your ass.
The main proponent as to why they did not go in an actual cave and film this is for all the risks involved with caving. But if you've got 70, 90 people in there moving stuff around, shuffling knights, moving cords, just a lot of things could go wrong. And cave in. Yep. And I mean, where I grew up in Illinois, there's a little town called Elkhart not far away from it. And there's a whole set of murals in the Elkhart because in the 1920s they had a cave in at the coal mine, and that was the night that Santa Claus died. And if you ever get involved with coal mining around central Illinois, which I believe they shut it down finally, they, like every sister, every brother, every person that's ever been a worrywart comes out of the woodwork and tells you all the dangers of caving, being underground. You're gonna die. You're gonna have real issues. You're gonna get collapsed on. It's gonna just fail. You're gonna run out of oxygen. You're gonna asphyxiate. You're gonna get crushed to death. You're gonna get collapsed into an underground pool and drown. It just every fucking person comes out. It's like the Truman Show in Central Illinois. You're like, I'm gonna be a coal miner, and they're like, you don't ever want to travel out of town, Truman. Fuck me. So I'm just relaying what it's like, and so I stayed away from caving. And baby girl, even without little Nosferatu fuckers running around this movie with their dongs hanging loose, this movie was scary enough as is with them just being underground. The claustrophobia that somebody could have an episode from, pretty accurate. And it was
I had claustrophobia just from watching it. I mean, I felt confined in my chair. You know what I mean? I felt trapped almost, and I kept catching myself holding my breath and different things like that. It was very intense. I mean, this movie, you know what it reminded me of? The movie High Intensity. Have you seen that? That was one I asked you to put on the list a while back.
No, it's not on the list.
It's a British movie too, but it reminded me of that. The intense. It's like the pressure never goes off. You know what I mean? It's like it's constant. It's building, 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 and then something bad would happen, and you'd have a few seconds of release, and then it was building, build. You know, it was like that. And then the music didn't help with the intensity either.
And that's like the only part of this movie I can't stand is the musical score, because it's like somebody decided, I really like the thing, I'm just going to file off the serial numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And so half the score you think is Ennio Morricone. It's not. It's some other guy from David Julian.
Mm-hmm.
Julian.
Yeah.
And Julian or Julian. I'm not pronounced his name correctly yet, but he's a music composer of this film. He took a lot of cues out of the thing. Basically, he files the serial numbers off. That's my
Yeah.
complaint about this movie is the score. My second complaint is I don't like the characters that much. I was rooting for Juno and the Creeps.
Really?
Yeah, because I felt sorry for Shauna, but like I really make your heroes likable. And that's the script's fault. The script had some real issues with it. There's one part of the movie in the trivia portion of IMDb.
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about this movie.
Yeah.
And the girls do their script line the way they're supposed to. But this is from IMDb. The scene where Sarah finds Beth barely clinging to life originally featured some, quote, truly shit, end quote, dialogue. And the actors let that be known. Neil Marshall agreed, and the three went to a nearby pub the night before filming and rewrote the dialogue on a napkin. The film producer chewed Marshall out for it, but he also agreed the scene was vastly improved now. That's not the only part of the script that sucks. The part of the script where like the girls are generally unlikable, because when I hear somebody saying, we're extreme, I want to see you die. I want to see a safety video where your demise happens. We're extreme, car crash. We're extreme, tire swing into a fucking lava flow. I don't give a shit. Don't tell me you're extreme. I endured the 90s. Extreme motherfuckers die. I just like you are my fodder. You are my fucking Pornhub, because I watch trucking fail and insurance fucking videos on YouTube when I've got nothing else going on. You can find me watching dash cam footage of people that can't drive, that shouldn't be driving, and it's basically 80% of you. Because you get distracted, or you want to see what's on Instagram.
Watch a forklift video.
Say again?
Want to see extreme? Go watch a forklift
Oh,
video.
God. Russian forklift fails. There you go. Russian forklift fails. Have fun.
This one thing, though, I read, it says that Neil Marshall shot many of the crawlers at 18 frames per second.
Yep.
A 45-degree shutter to give them a staccato movement.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of like move like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. To me, though, I loved everything about the movie. I liked the bickering between the girls. Okay, and the reason I did is because I have 4 sisters. You don't have a day go by where you don't have somebody in this group of pecking order bickering to the other one, or to 2 of them or 3 of them. See what I mean? So the constant bickering to me was real. When you have lots of girls, that's what you have, because they're all trying to push their point of view, into the others. And the higher ups, and then you have 1 or 2 that are very passive and quiet, but the rest of them are like clashing, because they're either trying to protect one of the others, or they're standing up for themselves because one of the others was stepping on them or something. There's always something going on, because I grew up that way. But the music did take me. I was doing real good until the dun 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 started building up, and I was like, "That's from The Thing." So that took me out of the movie, because the music was like almost identical. I mean, it sounded like they took the music from The Thing and put it in some of the scenes, and that took me out of those scenes. It, pulled me away from it and made me realize, oh, it's a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the set design
that wasn't that wasn't good for this movie. But
yeah, I like the set design, even though it's not filmed in a real cave, and we discussed why it's not. It looks very authentic. It looks like somebody actually went down and had a few days or nights or weeks of, situational awareness was probably at its peak, and he, afterwards came out and had a nice pint or two of stout liquor, and drank himself stupid because, like, I can't believe I tried killing myself that way. And that's just, like, seriously, the best part of this film is how it's shot, I think. And I really like, you kept remarking about how you liked all the mist and how you liked all the dust
it
down.
was phenomenal, I thought.
There's parts of certain caves where you'll have precipitation like that because you've got an underground creek, or you'll have a flowing trickle of water coming down the side of a rock wall, and that happens quite a bit underground. And it's something that a lot of people would say, well, that's just sensational. That's Neil Marshall getting his cinematographer Sam McCurdy to put some more movie magic on it and just make this movie just more palatable for the normies. No, actually, this movie's almost authentic with the underground construction. Now, you'll have some cavers out there that'll be like, oh, that's bullshit, I never see that. Well, yeah, you don't also go down in a cavern with like 17 to 30 lights set up to give you illumination. You've got 4 lights because there's 4 people, and all of them are mounted on your fucking skull caps, and that's about it. Good luck. You don't have if you had illumination, you could see everything. Go ahead,
the candles they had.
Yeah.
Sets were freaking awesome. Yeah. Dozens of sets made to look like the interior of a cave, and from the very little actual caves, it looked pretty damn believable. It didn't suspend your disbelief if you were immersed in the moment with the claustrophobia and the darkness. Scenes where, like, okay, overhead light, you got to show the person coming out of the darkness, otherwise it's just going to be a black screen.
Yeah, I don't want to see a black screen.
That was a little nitpickable. And then they start using glow sticks and whatnot, and it gets really moody with that. It was extremely well done. 60s, like earlier I said, your 60s caves where it was just spray foam and then spray paint. No, this was like meticulous detail.
Yeah, they did kick ass. It was awesome. I mean, it was very kick ass. Even the special effects, like when that one young girl falls and breaks her leg, when they ripped her pants open, I just went, holy shit, that looked so real. I have seen someone who broke their leg, and the bone, they fell off a ladder, and the bone was actually sticking out like that. And it looked, I mean, that's how bad it looked.
I've been around leg breaks myself, and like, there's nothing more irritating than having an uncoordinated partner when you're carrying a litter or stretcher over a ditch, and you've got a 220-pound female with a busted fucking leg and hip and bones protruding out, and she's complaining about the fact you're too rough getting her up and down, and you're just trying to get it to the ambulance so Bobby can drive his fucking ambulance off, and you're there for the next 3 minutes. You're enduring Crashimus Rex as she's sitting on the litter like some empress out of Rome. Come on, I'm in pain. Stop it. God, no, I'm bleeding. Everybody stop it. It's like, we're doing our best for you. I'm sorry. We've already given you a tourniquet. We're going to apply more medical professionals to you once we get you out of this ditch. We're not the one that crashed your fucking car, you fat Sal. I don't fucking have any. I'm not apologetic about this, and I don't care, but I really don't like people. And my experiences in Illinois have peppered me to where my seasoning towards life and being around people is just at a limited amount at best. But and so if we hang out together, we do streams together, I like you. I just be aware, I appreciate you. And part of that is that I've never had to carry you across a fucking ditch in a fucking litter or stretcher, because that's the worst fucking thing that you could make somebody do. Just, if that ever happens, just be nice to the guy holding on to you, because my friend Tom, he got bored of this fat Sal, and he dropped half the fucking stretcher And so she jarred. Eventually, she dropped the lawsuit, but uh, I had a friend that he didn't really like being in coordination with me because I was too short, and so he decided he'd try to drop the litter. Then started complaining, well, Bruce is too short, and whatever. We got her in the ambulance. That's all that really happened. But the entire fucking 10 minutes I was there, I wish I would have just like slept through the fire alarm. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Let her. You shouldn't get into a wreck over near Latham, honey. There's no services here. It's all volunteer. I want to sleep. So anyway,
Well,
I
I
guess
wanted
the
to,
leg break will look really
which
good.
actress was Nora Jane No One?
That's
Yeah.
Holly.
Okay. Well, that
That's-
actress, they said that they, from one of the little, I guess, yeah, that one. Okay. It said here, it says,
You
according
busted her
to,
leg.
yeah, okay. It says there was an exact replica made of Nora Jane No One. And after the movie was finished, that she got to keep the head of the doll, and she put it in her mother's freezer once as a joke. So, yeah, she's the one that played the little lesbian girl.
I'm maybe bi. I don't know. I'm not
Yeah,
worried about it.
or she was just a tomboy or whatever. It's just that
It's
she
pretty
was
tomboy.
very tomboyish, because I was tomboyish, and my mom did ask me once if I liked boys. I said
It did
yes.
pain me to
So
see her run. They're in an unfamiliar cave system. They're freaking out, and she runs, and I'm screaming in the back of my skull.
Don't do
Why
that.
the fuck would you do that?
Don't do that.
but
That's
see,
all I
that's
can
what
think
I'm
of.
saying.
All
I
right.
thought it was
What was
great,
the plan? And stay together.
but they were
And
all
if they hadn't panicked,
panicking. When people panic, what
yeah, if they
happens?
hadn't panicked,
They
it would have been
run.
awesome.
People run. But one of the other things I read, it says the production of the film was fast tracked so that they could be released before the themed movie The Cave, because it was an American made movie. But unfortunately, it opened in the same week as the 2005 London bombings,
That took over the
which
news.
really hurt the money coming in for this movie.
Well, wasn't this movie originally released in the UK and then to American audiences, which the Americans snapped it up, the Brits not so much. From
Well,
what I
because
understand,
of
the British were, kind
turmoil
of.
that was going on over there in England.
I mean, if you guys wouldn't import so many people from the sand countries, it would be fine. But
Yeah.
oh, oops, did I say that aloud?
This was yet another, hey, a rival studio is making a similar movie. Let's try to push it. But due to unfortunate circumstances, it kind of got lumped in at the same time. So now the movie going experience is like, oh shit, we got The Cave and we got The Descent.
Mm-hmm.
It was like Wyatt Earp and Tombstone. Like, I love both of those movies. Tombstone more than Wyatt Earp, but Wyatt Earp was a little bit more realistic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but man, Tombstone was 10 times better, I thought.
I love
What was
Tombstone.
it, volcanoes on its peak, that sort of thing.
Yeah, this other thing I found, I thought it was pretty interesting. It says that the appearance of the creatures was kept secret from the cast members until the first scene in which they encountered them. It says when the cast finally, when they were finally filming the scene, they were grouped, encountered the crawlers. The actors were generally really, really scared of them and screamed the building down, running off sets, and then laughing about it. So a lot of it was their real reaction to the actual creatures when they were confronted with them on the movie. So that was really, really, really good. I just thought it was good.
Yeah.
I had a house full of girls. It's so funny because when my dad fell and hurt his leg, it was Dana, Kathy, and I all went when he got put in the hospital because of it. And we took turns staying at the hospital with my dad. And then, we'd go back and forth. And Dana would come down on the weekend on her day off. And so it was funny because the doctor would come in and ask questions, and all of us are answering them for my dad. He's just sitting there, and he goes, "You're so quiet," and he just shrugged his shoulders. And we said, "Well, it's kind of hard to get a word in edgewise when you have 5 daughters." So, to me, it was very realistic with all the screaming and the over dramatic stuff that was going on, and the one that you can't get to calm down no matter what you do. That kind of stuff was to me, it was very realistic. Anyone that has girls, daughters or sisters, lots of sisters, would say the same thing. So I'm just saying, it was, to me, it was, they did a really good job with the cast. And it wasn't so unbelievable when you had, like Juno, the very athletic one that was a mountain climber and things like that. Just all of a sudden the switch flipped, and she's just frack, just kicking ass, killing these monsters. And it was believable, the way they fought and some of the scenes that they had. Now, the one scene that I had the most problem with was the one where that one lead fell into that big puddle of gooey slime.
This part?
Yeah, that one where she stayed underwater for a while, right? Or stayed under there a while, and then she came up. And as soon as she came up, the creature came up behind her, and they fought. But the fact that the creature jumped on her back and didn't try to bite her back because she's an animal, that I had a hard time with. Now, if the monster's on top of you and you got your hands and you're trying to push it off so it can't bite you, that's a little more believable. But she had her back to her. The first thing you'd think of, if it was a mountain lion or anything else, what would it do? It'd bite you on the back, on the shoulder, on the back of the neck, on the head, and it didn't do that. So I had a little bit of a problem with that.
They're human adjacent, because this kind of segues into what I was going to say.
It's been 100 years since they were breeding down there and stuff. So
yeah,
no, it's been longer.
Well, longer than that, at least 100 years.
But the telltale scenes. So like, you get a little snapshot of the history that people have been down there before. So when they're crawling across the cavern ceiling, you see the old timey angle piton, and that was at least 100 years old, let's say, because it was like, I think in the early 20th century that the professional American mountain climbers would use pitons. They were used in Europe well before we started getting. But let's say some sort of surveyor had to go down there 100 some odd years ago. So it's sitting there, and you're looking at this old chunk of metal sitting in the crack there. And the one gal goes and uses it, and it holds up until the last gal gets across, and then it breaks. So it's been there forever. There was the hat that they found, the old timey hat, the lantern, or it was maybe a percolator pot. I couldn't quite tell.
No, it was it was filled with fuel. It was a little container of fuel because she poured it on that she found that body with the other old axe, mountain axe tied to the leg, like they'd hurt their leg, and she cut that off, and then she took the rags that she got off and put it on the top, and then poured that oil from that container she found. And
we're probably like turn of the century at the latest. It was old stuff.
Yeah, it was really old stuff.
And then you go in, and then you see the cave paintings, and the cave paintings could be, thousands of years old. So then you start thinking, okay, maybe these critters are actually like cavemen that just evolved and
that evolved down there, because we find it all the time. They're still finding.
They went in an offshoot more feral than actual humans.
Because they're still finding
critters from
creatures now, in caves that have never been seen. Because we're adventuring deeper and deeper into caves. So that all that's possible. But the way they did this, the way they set it up, and the way that they filmed the angles and stuff of the cave and the creatures and stuff. I mean, and then all the bones from one section to another, different bones and different ages. Maybe that's why they had some of the white ones, because they were newer. Because some of them were older, and you could see horns, different types of skulls, and other claw-like things, and pieces of bone that were broken off, and things like that. Just piles of them here and there, because they've been eaten down there for a very long time, as you could tell. So it had been a long time. And they did a really good job at trying to show that they've been evolving down there, because there was lots and lots of them, and some of them were women. The one that attacked that one girl had breasts and stuff, and then the baby or the small child one that was crawling around eating off of some of the corpses and stuff. It was gruesome. I don't recommend anyone see this if they can't handle a lot of blood, gore, vomit, goo, ooze, broken bones. I mean, there's a lot of yucky stuff in this movie.
People getting gnawed on.
Yeah,
Like,
I really like
when I
it.
watched it.
For the same reason
ahead.
you guys are cautioning people, that's like one of the movies, one of the reasons why I would recommend this movie to people. Like, if you want to look at practical effects done right, if you want to see gore done right, if you want to watch a movie that has really good dramatic scenes that are executed well, the fight choreography is about spot on, because they're not trying to portray themselves as kung fu experts. These are 6 girls that are athletic. They're not boxers. They're not MMA professionals. They're not like that. You have one that can scrap like a motherfucker, and the other 5 are lucky to be where they're at. Shauna, she levels up in the movie. You see her go from a beaten, broken, severed human being that's trying to build herself to where she can stand and move on her own emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end of the film, even though she's going to require fucking trauma counseling if she makes it out, because the movie ends on this kind of vague note, she makes it out. What'll happen is that she'll be okay she could be able to fight again. But at the start of the film, she's not a fighter.
Mm-hmm.
She's wounded. She's emotionally broken.
Like Shelley Duvall, Mrs. Torrance, kind of a mousy, broken person, and then by the end of the movie, she's gone full Martin Sheen Apocalypse Now.
Yeah.
Character arc reversal, basically.
And I love that, because it's one of the few movies, it's one of the very few girl power movies I've ever seen where I didn't turn it off because it's like, God, it's just fucking girl power. This movie
It's
sucks.
just overpowering sometimes. But this was realistic.
This was very realistic. This is very organic. Now, the personality of 5 of the characters, I don't really give a shit about. Like I said, I root for Juno. Natalie Mendoza made me fall in lust over her because of this movie. And since 2006, I've fapped about her. She's hot. She's worthy. She's a very attractive actress. She took good care of herself in this movie. She does appear in the sequel. There is a sequel, and she does make an appearance in that movie. She stays in good shape. She's really into, or back then when this was made, she was really into fitness. I haven't followed her since. I don't believe in stalking actresses. I believe in enjoy the time for what it is. I learned long ago, don't try to follow up on somebody that you had a crush on or had a relationship with like 10, 15 years ago, because things change. And, I changed too. I'm not the same little 170-pound guy I was in, shortly after the military. I've kind of blimped up since then. And other people did the same thing. The scales go up. They rarely go down. So don't ever go back. Don't ever go back to spilt milk.
Well, unless it's Demi Moore.
Well, with the exception of
Demi Moore. Okay.
Sophie Marceau. She's gotten older, but she doesn't age as quickly as the
Sophie Marceau. I would still go with Sophia Loren. She's like in her 80s, and she doesn't look 80s. She looks like 60s, and an attractive 60s. Like, I'd throw the game out to her 60s. Like, yay.
Well, the Shauna McDonald, that actress,
not attractive.
says it. Mm-hmm. That was in there. Says she was slightly claustrophobic herself. So when she found it easy to be scared shitless in panicky in the underground scenes that they did in the movie. So
she's actually a really good actress.
Mm-hmm.
I like that about this movie. They really made it real to the actresses. They got good set designers, and Sam McCurdy photographed this movie so well. His cinematography for the film is 10 out of 10. If there's no other reason to see this movie, if you want to see how to film a movie underground, watch this movie, take good notes. I've not seen The Cave yet. I saw Pitch Black. This
I
movie,
haven't seen the cave. I haven't seen the cave yet.
I like this movie better than I like Pitch Black, and I think Pitch Black was the impetus for this.
Mhm.
Between that and the fact that we discovered the coelacanth, I can't remember if that came out first or if the descent came out first, but the fact that we discovered the coelacanth and the entire scientific community went apeshit nuts because this prehistoric dinosaur fish was found in the ocean. And then finally, fucking scientists got onto the fact that, like, oh my God, maybe there are places that we haven't explored and there might be things that are still alive from way back when.
But they're finding them now in the jungles, in caves, in the ocean. They've pulled up creatures and what
The
they thought that
mainstream
were
scientific community wants to keep things boring and able to be homogenized and reported on NPR to where there's no excitement. And you could have Sam Donaldson with his dead eyes look at the camera and tell you that science has discovered a new species of animal. We will have a film at 11. Thank you so much. But instead, if you show me a picture of coelacanth, this gnashing, piercing teeth, I get excited about that. I get like, oh my God, look at that motherfucker. That looks awesome. Can I put it in my aquarium? Would it get along well with my piranha? Could it get along with my betas? And I would just, I'd be a dick like that. You ask questions like that because that's what you would do if you had such a thing. I mean, you're talking to a guy that took a fucking magnet to a pinball arcade. Come on.
Well, remember how people talk about when they watched Jaws for the first time, that it made them petrified to go swimming again in the ocetion? This movie,
you didn't realize that was there before?
When I saw this movie, it made me know I would never go. I would never do this. I mean, I've gone to like the Cave of Winds and a few others. It's huge and massive. It's all lit up and there's tour guides and stuff. It's totally not where you have to have all the gear and all that stuff. I couldn't do it. I can tell you right now, when they were crawling, when they first started crawling, the young girl that got her leg broken, when she first went in that hole, even though I already read about it and knew that it was not real, that it was not a real cave, that it was all sets, I still was holding my breath almost the whole time, having to force myself to breathe because it was petrifying to me.
Yeah, the way this movie's shot is very authentic. They made this movie look so organically set in the underground. Mm-hmm. I didn't know it was set in a set until I started getting ready for today.
Yeah, me too. For me reading, I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
It was
when I
freaking awesome. These people did a great job.
In the theater. And saw the troglodytes, I immediately thought of the legend of the Moon-Eyed People.
Yep.
And if you're not hip to the cryptid scene, in the Appalachian area, there were these little dwarf people, white-skinned, had bad vision in daylight, but had really good vision in night. Thus the name Moon-Eyed People. Mm-hmm. And Turkey kicked them out. Europeans started hearing about it by word of mouth. And so it kind of popped in my head like, oh, this could have been like the idea of the cryptids in Appalachia, the Moon-Eyed People. It's plausible. The difference between the cave and this, the cave, there was some sort of parasite that was making animals and people. This is just an offshoot of humanity that devolved into a more troglodyte type of thing.
Yeah, because a lot of people have a hard time believing in parasites doing that. Mm-hmm.
This was the superior film out of the two, in my opinion, even though the other one had bigger headlining stars.
Cole Hauser's in that one.
And like Lena and Cole Hauser, yeah. But this was like realistic to a degree, like believable. It wasn't something that, it's like, oh, it's an action movie with.
Yeah, but it didn't seem like woke being crammed down your throat, did it?
With flawed people doing like normal things, but because of bad decisions things got out of whack, and then there's some cannibalistic humanoid critters
Underground
running
doors.
around.
There's kids.
Our distant cousins are now living in caves. But yeah, this it says here that
The
director.
hillbilly chuds of wherever it was supposed to be.
Oh my God, this is Chud the prequel.
Oh, hey, hi, Shells. Nice to see you.
This is my brother Daryl. This is my other brother Daryl. We're gonna eat you.
But one of the things that I thought was interesting, I found it says that that Neil Marshall wanted to pass on this project because he had just done the movie Dog Soldiers.
Yep.
2002, but he later reconsidered since both movies were nothing alike, and he decided to cast an all-female group in contrast to the normal male-dominated horror genre. He consulted with his female friends to avoid cliches and define their personalities and choose actresses with a wider range of accents to give the film a more cosmopolitan feel. I thought he did a really good job. And whoever he had as his casting director did an excellent job at critiquing on who was going to play which character. You know what I mean? Because the girl that fell and broke her leg, I mean, for her part, she was phenomenal. I believed that's who she was.
Yeah.
And I believe Juno was who Juno was. And the one girl that to me was the most irritating was the one that was the least needed, was the one that ended up dying hanging from the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
Her character was very weak, didn't really have much substance. But you can't have 6 leads and not have one have way lower on the totem pole, basically. You know what I mean? So I just thought they did a really good job for casting. With
one of those,
stats, I mean, everything. It was really, really well done. Except the only thing that I would nitpick a little bit about would be the musical score, because it did pull me away from the movie when I automatically, it'd be just like playing Jaws, dun, 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 you know what I mean? It would totally take you out of the scene because it doesn't fit. Brings you in another movie in your mind instead of.
This was one of those girl power movies that was girl power movement. You didn't get any.
Well, 10 years before Disney
stopped,
destroyed it.
This was like an organic girls doing their thing and then stepping up to the challenge despite the odds. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't pre-manufactured. Check off the boxes type of thing. This was,
it didn't feel like it was
like
a woke movie being crammed down your throat. It was an actual entertaining movie with wonderful acting and good sets, and was very believable characters and very believable story. So I really, really enjoyed it. I was really impressed with it.
I'm watching this for the umpteenth time.
Yeah.
And then like finally my brain realizing it's been since I originally first saw it. It's held up for
my dad saw this movie
first.
Soundtrack.
One of the things I found too, it says one of the crevices built for the film was so narrow and slippery that the female cast dubbed it the vagina. I just had to read that to you. I was reading it.
I would rather call it the G spot because it's very small.
Well, I just thought that was hilarious.
Look at that smells on that guy.
Yeah, I mean, he was scary. And then that scene where they're underwater.
Oh, and this had orc babies in it too. Oh my God, I forgot.
What?
Babies.
Yeah, it's an orc face.
Yeah.
The orc babies, the little feral baby troglodytes that were trying to eat them, and then they get axed. Like this.
Yep.
This movie has it all.
Yeah, this movie is good for a lot of reasons. It's poor for some others, but this movie succeeds for me.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised on how, because I'd seen it before, but this time I watched it trying to see what I did see when I first watched it. You know what I mean? To critique it. And I was pleasantly surprised that I liked way more than I disliked. You know what I mean? I really looked for bad shit, but I couldn't find a lot of it because this was a very well made movie. Very well done. I was very impressed.
Yeah, there's only like 2 or 3 things that, like for a moment You go,
Yeah.
and then
Mm-hmm.
you can bitch about it after the movie when you remember it. That was kind of hokey, but like 99.9% of the time, it was cool.
Yeah, there are some hooky
This movie was
spots.
good, beautiful.
It said too that said at 56 minutes, the night vision shot of Bones is actually a miniature.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, but they did a great job. I wouldn't have thought that. I thought there were some, cheap plastic bones because they were solid white, and you don't have blown bone bleaching when there's no sun. You know what I mean? If you took science and stuff. So that was interesting. Or you bleach the bones, or you put acid on them, things like that. But in the wild, if you found them, they all be musty and moldy and darker, not whiter. And so that was one of the things I didn't like. There was little technical things like that that I didn't, that pulled me out of it. But very small, subtle things like that my mother couldn't have watched this movie. I could see why she didn't want to watch it because it's very gory, but very well done though. Believable gore, like when she's jamming her fingers in that guy's skull. Oh, the sounds, the goo. I mean, the
The
way she was
ADR,
sitting on him, everything was very realistic to me. They did a really good job.
Yeah,
lots of squishy noises.
Oh, here we go. Listen to this. The Crawlers have this auditory shout out to the Predator series. They similar to the clicks dolphins make and are very early tip off that they use echolocation. Yeah, because I thought that was really good. But now, now that they said that with the dolphin sounds, that it does. What is that?
That's an outtake.
Mm-hmm.
Behind the scenes photo. This was not in the movie.
No, not in the movie. It's funny.
So they're basically
It
were
gets better
running
towards
around
the end.
naked. The actors and the actresses that played the creatures were really naked, just painted up.
Yeah.
Because that one scene where she's underwater when Juno hits the water
Yeah.
and she sees that guy's penis and she just grabs a hold of it and tries to rip it off of him to get away. I mean, to me, that seems believable because you're doing anything to live. You're fighting for your life.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, boy, they were gruesome. These guys were just
They
gruesome.
did so good with the movie, with the practical effects in this film. Like I said, study this movie if you want to learn about makeup effects and how to shoot a fucking movie underground. Because
It
this
says
movie,
the crawlers were designed by Paul Hett, a makeup and prosthetic creator. Production designer Simon Bowles said that the crawler design had started out as a wide-eyed and more creature-like, but the design shifted towards a more human appearance because crawlers originally had pure white skin, but the look was adjusted to seem grubbier, and the skin was originally fluorescent in appearance, but the effect was too bright and reflective in the darkened set. So the adjustments were made to make them blend in with the shadows. The director barred the film's cast from seeing the actors in full crawler makeup until their first appearance on screen. That's pretty good. But I'm copying this. I'm going to share it because that's pretty good, interesting information, I think.
yeah, I was rather very very pleased with this. Go ahead.
Those monsters, where they're showing the eye movement and all
Yeah,
that, was really unsettling. And it just
it's
adds to
unnerving.
the terror. You were in a dark, enclosed cave, and then like shining your flashlight in that direction, or if you were trying to hide from those things, all an echolocation to try and find you. Like, ugh, really,
Yeah, that reminds me of that one scene
really.
that I thought was the one besides this music that sounded like it was from The Thing. The other thing that really made me go, what that's ridiculous. The fact that the monster crawled up there on that rock where the girl was laying there. Now the fact that he put his hand on her head and she didn't move, that wasn't so irritating. But the fact that he was sitting right next to a torch, it had a huge flame and he didn't react to the heat from it. it's a cold cave. How could he not know there's heat about to burn him? You know, and he'd have to think it was interesting because if he doesn't have any fire and they eat their food raw, he would notice the heat. You know what I mean. So that,
Now, the part where he had his hand on her head, I thought that was kind of funky. Like, why doesn't this thing recognize that?
yeah, but the fact that he didn't even notice
Everything else would feel like cold rock underneath his fucking hand.
Mm-hmm.
She's got warm head. She's got hair, and he hasn't. She hasn't started bleeding all over the place yet. If I remember right, she had been covered with blood, but it really wasn't hers.
Mm-hmm.
Am I wrong?
Mm-mm. That's what I'm saying. That scene was that whole scene, the scene in the sludge, and then the creature coming out from behind her, and then that creature jumping on top of her, and then not reacting to the giant flames in front of him, even though he's blind, he'd have to be able to feel the heat. So that kind of took me out of the scene. So that to me was the worst scene in the movie, the most unbelievable scene.
Yeah. Shell, if you want to watch a movie, I'm going to give this movie I'm going to give it an 80% out of 100, despite the problem with the fact that I don't like 5 of the 6 actresses. I think they're great actresses in their roles, but they're absolute just chew toys for the bad guys. 4 out of 6 are chew toys. Poor Holly really didn't have a chance. She was trying hard. God bless her. But I really like Shauna McDonald and Natalie Mendoza in this movie. I think they fucking elevated the film better than what it was. I just wish I liked Shauna Mendoza or Shauna McDonald's character better, and I don't. I know you're broken. I'm sorry your husband cheated on you, but God damn it! Like I wanted something a little bit more. Not that I don't empathize for her, I feel sorry for her, but I feel sorry for her the same way I feel sorry for a horse with a busted leg. You shoot it, and I'm a dick, so I gravitated. I really like Natalie Mendoza's character better. She's pretty. I can see why the husband would fuck her. I can understand why he fucked Natalie Mendoza's character. I get it. And I mean, whenever there's plenty of scenes where it showcases her butt, it's like, wow, that's pretty nice. And that's pretty much all I was thinking. I've thought that for the past 20 years, and I'm not going to back down from it. I get it. I thought it was a really well done movie. It sucks that the main character is not likable. She turns into a actual character. Like this healing process, actually, the caving actually worked for her healing process, I think. But I give this movie an 80% out of 100 because the way it's shot, the gore effects, the choreography, nothing about this movie looks bad. And like what Janet said, where you're holding your breath and you're fucking feeling it close in around you.
Yeah.
The first 6 times I watched this movie, that cave-in sequence made me feel that same way.
Mm-hmm.
I actually thought, like, because watching it on bigger and bigger and bigger TV sets, thank God I'm not watching it on a 24-inch like I was back in 2009, 2010. This movie really sings in a larger screen. A larger screen, this movie, it's so much better. And you don't watch this movie on your phone, watch it on a real TV, and you'll get the stereo surround, crank up your fucking 7.1 Dolby stereo, and just enjoy the ADR because there is so much snapping and tearing and chewing and just all the little sound effects that the crawlers make, and they're just ripping off bits of skin and muscle and tearing through the terry cloth outfits these girls are wearing just to get to the tasty bits underneath. I'm hungry. Fuck, I'm hungry. This is such a good movie. 80%.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to let you guys know this. It says the park where the women were supposedly meeting, Chattahooga National Park, doesn't exist.
Nope.
The name reference was from the Chattahooga River, which is a real river, and it was where the movie Deliverance was filmed. So I wanted to say that because earlier, remember, you had said it looked like it could be where they filmed Deliverance, and you're right.
It's supposed to be a callback for that.
the outdoor scenes for that. But then this other part I found, it says filmmakers originally planned for the cast to be both male and female, but Neil Marshall's business partner realized that horror films rarely have all female casts. Defying convention, Marshall cast all women, and to avoid making them like, cliche or whatever, he solicited basic advice from his friends. I remember I told you about that earlier. So he tried to make sure that it was as realistic as possible. Just like I said, I have 4 sisters, and the bickering and squabbling that was going on was realistic to me, because there's no way that you could go a day in our house without somebody having a squabble between 2 of the girls in the henpeck order. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that was very believable. All of it was very believable. The fact that I picked up on the fact that he was spending a little weird time with the one girl at the edge of the river in front of his wife and the other friend and the daughter was very believable to me, that it looked like they were having an affair. So just little subtleties like that to me were very realistic, which added to the undertones of what they went through when they were in the caverns, especially at the very end, towards the very end, when they started having the hallucinations and stuff, because she would wake up and then she was thinking she was getting away, and then she wake up and she's still in the cave, that type of thing. So I just thought it was really, really well done. I was really impressed, but I love horror. Horror is one of my very favorite, and sci-fi horror makes it even better when it has, weird creatures or something from outer space, or, something, the unknown that could possibly happen. I just loved it. I thought it was great. So I'm going to rate it a 90 out of 100.
Wow, that's high praise from you.
Because it was very, very small little things. That's it. The editing was great. The only thing that I found wrong was that one part in the music, because before that music came up from the thing. The rest of the time, I never left the part. You know what I mean? I was involved. I was holding my breath. I was gritting my teeth. I was doing all the things you're supposed to, until that sound effect came on. I was like, that's from the thing. So automatically I'm thinking about the thing, not this movie. So little things like that. And then the fact that he didn't feel the heat, and he's right next to it, a giant flame, and he doesn't even react to it. Just little things like that is the only thing that took me out of this movie. But the director, his view of how he filmed, the directions the angles he used, the excellent quality of the special effect makeup, and everything was just top notch. I mean, it was so good. I don't even know what the budget was for this, but they used every single cent towards what they were supposed to, for the sets, for the costumes, for the hair. I mean, everything. They put it all into this movie, and you can tell whatever it was that they had. They, like that scene right there, that was very realistic. The barbs coming in and stabbing the dad and into the daughter in the back seat. It was very realistic. And yeah, I would have bawled my eyes out if they showed the kid. So I was so glad they didn't even have to do that. They just went up. The aerial shot where the camera went up and all you saw was the guy's hand.
The husband's hands were twitching.
That's it. So you knew he was even just death throes, and she had to live with that. She had to live with the fact that that's the last thing she saw of her husband and daughter. That's very traumatic. And as a mom, I was very traumatized by that. So I felt a welcoming when the friends all said, we're going to go on this trip. I thought it was wonderful. I thought it was a really sweet thing, and that her friends really loved her a lot, to go through all that, to travel all the way to America to do this with her. I thought that was, to me, it was wonderful. But the fact that now she relived another horrible thing, and all of her friends are dead now. Every single one of them died in the cave.
And family too.
If she lived. See, that's what I'm saying. So at the end, you don't know if she gets out after that, because she's still alive, that we think, because she's having another daydream of seeing her daughter in front of her. But at that last daydream that you see her having, she has a smile on her face. She's no longer afraid. You know what I mean? She's past that.
She's past all the trauma.
Mm-hmm. So,
I thought it was spoiler alert. She makes it out. There is a second movie. You look at the cast list, you get an idea of who comes back. It's a welcoming. It's an enjoyable sequel. It's not as good as the first, but does it wrap up everything and give it to where it actually could conceivably be the last film in the series? Yes, and I think to date they've not made a third movie in the Descent series, have they?
I haven't seen the second one,
Yeah.
so I didn't know there was another one.
I started showing you.
The second one was okay.
Yeah, you showed me the very beginning of it.
I showed you the very beginning of it just so you understood. Like she gets out because canonically it has to happen for the second movie to be a thing. I really like this movie. And Joshua, what are your thoughts, sir? What's your rating? Oh, chat, put your rating. If you've seen this movie before, put it in the fucking chat. Chell, I know you don't want to see it because it's gory. I think you should see it, hon. I think you should see it with your husband, and that way you have somebody to grab onto in the middle of the movie because it'll make you fucking scream. There are parts of the movie that are so well done. It's so well shot. I would love it for you to be able to watch a movie and actually feel genuine fear. This movie does it. It does it right.
It is gory though. It is. There's a lot of gore in it, but you can tell when it's about to happen. You can just close your eyes because it doesn't just happen.
It's tastefully done. It's not like Trauma or other.
Yeah, it's not like Friday the 13th
studios where they just throw buckets. Yes, there's
I think it's
buckets of blood.
I think it's
quote unquote tasteful.
Okay. I would not say exactly it's tasteful. I'll disagree with you on that part because a lot of it is audio based, and so like
a lot of audio,
the tearing, the ripping, the breaking of bones, all of that is delivered to you in 7.1 Dolby surround and a luscious format. If you guys are audiophiles out there and you've not seen this movie, crank it up. Make it to where it's at 78 decibels in your home or apartment and fucking enjoy it because
the clicking sounds, the screeching of the animals. Oh, it just made me, it was like scratching on a chalkboard because it sounded kind of like a blend between like, what did I say? Badgers, a squealing of a badger and hyenas. It was like a mixture of that. But the clicking sounded a lot like a bat. But when I told you that it was dolphin sounds, yeah, you could definitely tell. But it just creeps you out when you hear that the hair on the back of my neck stood up because it was really scary. I really thought it was really good. I'm glad I didn't watch it on a big screen. I probably would have had nightmares like I did when I get to saw a few other movies I've had nightmares from, just because I saw it on a big screen. And like Nosferatu, it was a really creepy movie. But I know I went and saw it by myself because I didn't have anybody to see it with me. But it was good. It was very well done. But one thing I wanted to say too, it says Simon Bowles designed the maze of the caves for this movie, and reviews credited Bowles. Beautifully designed cave sets, sets a world of subterranean darkness. The film had 21 cave sets, all built by Rod Bass and his company. It says using a unique system of polyurethane sprayed rock that was developed for his production. But it didn't look like polyurethane, did it? It didn't look fake. It looked authentic. I have been in many, many caves. Now, I never did the crawling. Like I said, I won't go through those little crevices and stuff, but it looked real. I mean, it rock sounds. I mean, just the mist, the dripping water. I mean, it was very, very believable to me.
This movie, real fear. Like we've always about human history, something in the dark, chittering and skittering around in the darkness, and you're like, what the fuck? This movie kind of invoked deep down fear that we have subconsciously of the unknown. It's really well done. When I say the gore was tasteful, this isn't your Italian cannibal movie where they're using like that's and just
Yeah. Not
like
shark
yeah,
food.
the audio sounds really nasty and goopy and wet, but it's done in a way where it fits the scene. Realistically, if you are fighting literally tooth and nail against a superior creature, all you have is your bare hands. Like it's going to be messy. It's going to be gory. Not designed that way. We're designed to make weapons and blow shit up. Like going hand to hand with, it's usually a death sentence for people. Added fire and spears and took it to the extreme. I'm going to give this movie when I first saw it, which would have been like 70 out of 100. It was good. It was different, and it was better than The Cave. Although The Cave was okay. It's not the greatest. It was okay. After seeing it like a dozen times and more effort is put into looking at the visuals, the special effects, the audio, the way it was shot was magnificent. I'm going to say 80% out of 100. It was a really good watch.
I liked it then.
Now for Chell, you like the suspense horror? You know, it'd be like Silence of the Lambs, Psycho. I would even say Dark Song.
Mm-hmm.
It's got occultism about a mother who's grieving the loss of her child, and the extremes that she goes through her child back or to closure. That one might be for you if you can handle this.
Well, the thing
really
is,
good movie.
at the very end, when you see her, as the camera slowly panning back, you know, because it's zoomed in on her, and then it slowly opens a little more, and you see the daughter smiling at her mother. It almost made me cry because it was like she's realizing she's never going to get out of the cave, that she's going to die. So why not get to die with my daughter? You know, that kind of feeling. So it's kind of emotional. It was for me watching that scene because it was very sad. But the fact that she was getting to die, knowing she was not going to get out, to get to die with her daughter was, you know, a little bit of an uplift, considering how horrible the rest of the movie was with the treacherous stuff that was happening to all her friends one by one.
It was closure.
You know?
She
So
was.
that was
She had reached that point of acceptance. She went through all the levels of grief,
Mm-hmm.
and then, bam, there's her daughter, and it's like, okay, we're going home.
Yep. That's basically how it ended. So even if they hadn't made a second one, the ending to me was closure for the people who watched it, just went through that journey of a roller coaster, watching all the people and what they went through. So I thought it was a good ending for the movie. That's why I would never even thought that they made another one. It was a realistic ending, I think, considering you had these creatures that were living underground for 100 years, basically evolving under there and creating a whole new race of, you know, humans or human-like creatures. Just like I was saying earlier, because you were finding all kinds of neat lizards and snakes and other birds and stuff in jungles still that we never even knew existed. And then we're also finding animals in the ocean from fishermen's nets and stuff that we thought were extinct, and they aren't. So it's amazing how vast our world is. It's so huge that we can have so many things that are evolving still from this day in a cave somewhere. That some insect or whatever got trapped in an area in this cave, and it evolved, and now it's hundreds of generations later, it's a whole new species, you know, that we've never seen. So I just think I just thought it was very well done. And you could tell the director and the people that helped to make this movie did a lot of research to make sure that they got the most authentic point of view of this script that they could get. And that shows dedication. And that means that this would be definitely a set, and this director and these people that I would love to work with if I ever got a chance, because man, they know what they're doing.
But Janet, Janet, what about the month of July? It's the greatest month in American history. You have the 4th of July, and then the middle of July, we have Shark Week. Now, wouldn't you like to talk about the movie The Meg in the middle of July? You want to
Yeah,
do
that sounds good. I like the Meg. That's
that?
good.
We'll talk about that Jason Statham classic. Yes.
Yeah, I've got to meet Jason Statham a few times, so yeah, I wouldn't mind.
But you have met Jason Statham. You know he likes bacon, do you?
He did card tricks for us. He's really good.
He's really the poor son of a bitch. The guy he got fit for one movie, and now he can't go past a camera without having to starve himself and load up on cauliflower and protein powder. What a poor existence.
Well, I'm proud of him.
Of course you would be. You're a woman.
Taking care of himself.
You look at that 8-pack he's got that is chiseled in. You could lose a digit. You could lose a digit sticking your finger into the cracks between his 8-pack there. You could lose it. It goes all the way to where your ring would sit on your finger comfortably, and you're just there making a mess. Look at you smiling at Jason Statham.
Yeah, he's not bad. He's made quite a few good movies that I've enjoyed.
I want to like Jason Statham more, but every fucking movie he goes into, it's like 3/4 of the fight choreographers think that a fight movie has to have fucking shaky cam and fucking shot at like 10 frames a second. Fuck these guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of them are bad.
I like his classic work.
Which one?
Not to say that like some of it are they're enjoyable to watch, but his classics.
And what would you call a Jason Statham classic? I'm curious.
And Two Smoking Barrels and
Yay!
Snatch.
Oh, amazing. We agree. His 2 best films.
So next week I have a special guest coming. We will be hosting this Janet, a girl and some guys in a movie. Will be hosting Bear the Gen X GM for the viewing of Buckaroo Banzai, the absolute pinnacle of movie making, according to Bear the Gen X GM. And I'm looking forward to hosting that because I want to see Bear happy and just completely happy watching this movie. He's a fan of that movie like I'm a fan of Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
And if I had the ability back when I was growing up in 1989 to buy the Commodore 64 game, the Big Trouble in Little China game, I would have bought it. But I couldn't find it. It wasn't sold in America. And I didn't know it was made until like 3 years ago. And I kind of got upset. I've got both card games. I've got the board game. I've got 3 versions on DVD, which 2 of them I think are almost identical, but one just has Spanish and French on it. But no, that's his pinnacle of movie making is Buckaroo Banzai. And so next week, about the same time, we'll be hosting and have a 4th member on the panel. That way I don't got dueling cameras here showing the fact that I need to work out more because I got a fat neck.
Well, you don't have to have a balanced. That's why I use round ones.
I like square angles. I like angles, Janet. There's
Okay.
If I ever build a house, it'll look like, something Italian made. I don't remember the geodesic domes being made by a guy named Giuseppe.
Well, not everybody can build homes.
Josh, do you have anything coming up, sir?
Don't get me started. These prefab neighborhoods out here in southern Idaho. You question what constitutes a contract. character sometimes.
Part of me wants to start singing that song with redone lyrics. The song would be God Bless the Terrier from Best in Show, but God Bless the Contractor, sung in the same miserable key as they sang Eugene Levy, God bless him. One of my favorite satire movies of all time, by the way, is Best in Show. I don't think there's a better satire out there. The first time I watched it, couldn't stand it because just the treble and the TV was wrong, and I was hearing things that weren't in the movie, like a bunch of whine and distortion. It was just bad TV reception. And the second time I watched it on DVD. Shell, this is a gaming piece. This character is like the beholder you don't want to find in a dungeon. Because for some odd reason, somebody thought, I'll do a naked beholder chick in boots with bracers on. And I've left part of her unpainted because if I do that on YouTube, I'll likely get banned because the details are going to come out.
I blame otaku culture. It's otaku culture that has corrupted the gaming industry.
A taco culture?
Otaku.
Oh, okay.
The infestation of white people going to Japan and claiming everything Japan does is great, even though Japan can't make a battleship that turns into a coral reef later. It's just, like Japan does everything right. Well, if they did, they would have figured it out.
Well, technically they can, but it takes.
Oh God, I was waiting for one of you to do that, to say that. But
well, no, they make great battleships that turn into coral reefs. That just like that's what I said. I hope you added the obvious part. Thank you. Because goddamn, the Yamato was better than the Iowa class. Yeah, which one is a better coral reef? Looks like the Yamato.
Until they start making Veritex and like the SDF one. Yeah.
They make who's cool, be first in line to go on the SDF one, right? You know who the first in line is going to be?
Is it going to be Poland?
Del Toro. Guillermo del Toro will be the first one to get in that because whenever he was making the Pacific Rim movie, the Pacific Rim film for him was like the greatest honor he could have ever made, film-wise, he said. And he was so happy to be able to be designing a movie that was echoing off all the old Japanese robot shows and robot cartoons because he loved that stuff.
I never saw that movie.
You never saw Pacific Rim?
Mm-mm. Not yet.
Well, that goes on the list. The sequel, okay, the sequel for Descent. The sequel for Descent exists. The sequel for Pacific Rim does not.
So what does that mean? It's not very good. Oh, okay. What? We don't have to put it on the list.
No, we're going to watch part 1. We're not going to watch part 2.
Oh, so they did make one.
What about Robot?
It's no good.
God damn it! You mentioned it.
What? Which one? I missed it. I'm sorry.
You don't worry, Janet. You completely missed it. It's okay.
Yeah, I did miss it.
Yeah, you missed it. We're good.
We're good. To see by Guillermo del Toro was
underwhelming.
In the Mouth of Madness.
Shell said it's underwhelming. So,
well. I now come with myself that movie will never be made. The book. For C.
The book.
Maybe a short film. But not a full length. In the Mouth of Madness, or in the Mountains of Madness. Lovecraft story that he was supposed to be working on that kind of fell apart.
It always falls apart. There's going to be a $70 million movie in the Mountains of Madness. They said in 1992, and it did not get made. They said there'd be a $50 million movie for In the Mountains of Madness in 1996, according to Starlog magazine or Analog or Starlog. I can't remember which one. But they said that, and I was excited because here I am running Call of Cthulhu for the past 4 years and loving that RP. And then that fell through. And then I found Cthulhu Mansion, and that was really underwhelming. Even though it had Jason Robards in it, and he chewed the scenery so hard in that movie. I thought he was a lesbian carpet muncher. That's such a good performance by him, just wasted in that movie. You see anything that's based on Cthulhu mythos, there's only 2 movies that are really in the Cthulhu mythos, maybe 3, but the 2 movies I'm going to talk about is Reanimator. Actually, no. Barbara Crampton movies are the only movies that are made with Cthulhu mythos, okay? That right there. And if you guys know,
And
then
she's
you
still
know.
got it. After 40 years, she's still got it.
Suitable Flesh, she looks so good. I mean, there's something for Janet to aspire to. That woman in her 60s just looks absolutely devourable. Just like, put on your best suit, tuxedo, call your finest Uber Select or Uber X driver, arrive at her front door, escort her by the arm to the curb, take her out, wine her, dine her, dance her the night away, and then pop your blue pill in the bathroom before you get to the bedroom, and pray to God for 4 innings of baseball, because God damn, she still looks so fine.
And who was her? What was her name?
Barbara Crampton.
Okay.
Janet, you don't know?
I'd have to go look at the picture again because I missed it.
Oh.
But did you see that? I was reading the chat over on X. I'm
He's
sorry.
a successful producer.
But Hand Rocks the Cradle, Sixth Sense says you got her number. And Seven. Oh, that's another movie. Remember, I had it on the other list. Seven, the movie Seven with Brad Pitt.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to put that on the list. That's a movie I definitely want to see.
Janet's not that old yet. She's younger. Barbara Crampton is just. I mean, Janet's a stunner. My dad kicks me. He's like,
Burnett, yeah. Because it's like I said, I had lots of guys that were dating me, and they came home and met my sister above me or the sister below me, both built like Mae West and blonde, and they were like, "Who's that?" So, oh well.
no, Janet.
And her family worked at a
She is now. But see, you guys like
Carnival
blondes.
Burgers.
Janet, damn it, you. Sorry, I don't have your IMDb. I could just start pawning through your photos on here and showcase your
No.
all your Indian temps would be out there, be like, oh my God, I want to have Janet over. Janet, baby,
I changed my LinkedIn and everything. It took all that kind of stuff off.
Oh my God, Janet!
I don't want anyone to know that, Janet.
Janet, do you want to hang out sometime? We could.
I have enough death threats as it is. You've heard some of them. You've seen some of the stuff I get.
I've seen your mail log. I'm not her administrator secretary guy. She just shows me stuff.
We're friends.
And we're cool like that.
Yeah,
and like I see the notes she gets, and I'm like, man, that's just as creepy.
It is creepy. That's why I said.
It's like you don't find somebody hot and then go for them. Find somebody that's doing the same shit you're doing, and go for them. Don't have somebody in your life that you have nothing in common with except you share a bed together.
Yeah, that doesn't last. Because what are you going to do with the rest of the day?
It's cool to be friend zoned by Janet.
Masturbate about your friends.
Yeah, 23 hours a day, you're going to be doing something different. So you might as well have something in common.
God, you guys are hitting me in the fucking kidneys here. I just had some good doggy style sex for like 21 minutes. Come on now.
Well, good for you.
5 minutes, but
Take some breaks and get things out.
That's in dog minutes, sir.
Okay.
Kudos
to you.
I don't know what to do with the I made Pop-Tarts. I boiled an egg.
We haven't done Fallen yet, have we?
No, not yet.
Yeah, we haven't done it.
So, Janet, on your radar, what do you have for this week?
Well, I'm going to be leaving to go to my parents or my dad's house tomorrow with one of my sisters and go through some more closets and stuff, stay the night and hang out, and then I'll be coming back. But Thursday night, I'm hoping to do the team shit show. So hopefully, I've gotten everything fixed now from last week because I didn't get to do it. And I'll probably try to have the same guest on if I can. And then Friday, I have the Friday night shit show. And that's it so far. Oh, but Wednesday night I'll be playing the game again on I Still Alive on Bears game. So
How are you liking that? How do you like Bears game?
way different, and it's funny because I really like a couple of the guys on there, and I just love that they're just laid back and they don't give a shit. You know, they just want to have a good time, and that's good. Just like our game when we play. I like that. I like to be able to relax and laugh, and we don't always talk about the game, you know, which is, you know, maybe not good for some people, but we're doing it for fun for our game, not to, you know, get a bunch of thousands of clicks on it. So I enjoy it. I look forward to it every week. So you do too, don't you, Six Nations?
Oh yeah, but you know,
When you
if they
get to
want to pay me $10,000 to change the outcome of the game,
Yeah.
I might be inclined.
Yeah.
If you also subscribe, so if we could get 1,000 new subscribers plus the donation, I'll
Yeah, that
consider.
would be great. But that's what he was doing. That's what he was saying stuff like, you know, if you pay a certain amount of super chat, I'll make changes to the fake characters. I'll change the plot, and if you pay $100 super chat, I'll do everything I can to kill off the whole team, stuff like that. So hey, I would have
No,
died.
I think our table's pretty laid back, and I like that.
That one
like
week
that about our
where
table.
that one character grabbed me and put me under his arm and ran into the woods. That's the only reason I lived, because I'm a 3 foot tall gnome. And when he fell to the ground because he was getting attacked, I just ran through the bramble because I'm little. And then I ran all the way back to town. You know, I'm a coward, but I lived because I knew I couldn't help them. They were dead.
You'll have to live with the of being the lone survivor.
Yeah, last week I basically ran too because we were approaching this dead tree, and the grass is like 3 feet tall, and I'm like 3 feet tall. So I was basically just walking through it. And when all of them started getting slaughtered, you know, I just said, well, I can't fight because I'm only 3 feet tall. So, and if I shoot some arrows from here, they're going to see where they came from and they're going to shoot me. So I just took off towards the woods to save myself. So I'm more of a coward in this game than I am in ours.
Janet, do you know this person?
I think so. I'd have to see their profile. Because, you know, it's different. The view that you're getting is different than what I have. So I have to go to my YouTube and look. Let me go. Is it on my YouTube or yours?
Yours.
Oh, okay. Let me go. Let me go look real quick. Sorry.
And if some of you are out there like, gee, I want to know more what Janet does, well, let me give you her information so you can follow her on X, because Janet on X is amazing. Oh my God.
Oh, she
All
says
sorts
that
of random
that's
people up on
Shell.
that.
That's her other account, I guess.
Whose other account?
Shell's.
Oh, Shell. Okay. Well,
Something happened. I guess she kept getting kicked out or something. I don't know. I'll have to ask her.
don't know why it kicked her out. That kind of irritates me.
No, she's on X, right?
Maybe it was the baby.
Now she's on YouTube. See, she was on X before.
Oh, okay.
Out. So now she's on her YouTube. Y'all have to follow
Dear
her.
God.
Who the fuck did this?
So
Who
far.
the fuck did this? God damn it! This is the best one. You are the one. Whoever did this, you are so good.
You won the internet.
Thank you, Shells. I appreciate it.
And I've seen hundreds in the last 24 hours. That is by far the best one.
Yeah. Yeah.
His video post that he posted, I'll have to go watch it.
The Vance memes.
I haven't seen
They're evolving.
the Vance memes are the best I've seen yet. I've been a big fan of memes since I discovered them, and since I got a smartphone and started collecting them, it's just kind of crazy. I don't have an external hard drive just to collect memes. I should. I've got a fucking external hard drive for Steam games. Anyway, this one here is just fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to get a new hard drive so I can just fucking start storing funny shit on there. Just empty my phones and put them on there. But this is fucking great. Next week.
I like my computer.
I love your computer. The only thing I would want to do with your computer is upgrade your graphics card.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the only thing. If you don't have 32 gigs of RAM in it, I would get 32 gigs of RAM in it, but I think you do. And get yourself.
It's supposed to be a gaming computer because I was planning on playing Goat Simulator. I haven't done it yet, but I want to.
Goat Simulator 4. You haven't beaten the first one yet.
Yeah, because it's a new. It just came out, right?
Yeah.
I need to play it and get someone else to want to play with me because remember I never beat any of the others because you have to have two people play some of it because there's team things you have to battle each other and stuff, and I have no one to battle. So it'd be fun.
I don't know if I have Goat Simulator. I want to say that I downloaded it.
I laugh almost through the whole game because it's just funny as hell. I mean, if you've ever got to watch it, it's hilarious.
Janet, there's a new one out, right? There's
the new one.
No. There's a new game that just hit, and I've got to show you this game called the Geese Game.
Okay.
It's probably stupid, just like Goat Simulator is, where there's like really not a point, but there's a lot to do, but there's no point to it. It's like Seinfeld. But
there is a point. I earned all the different goats, the double goat and the queen goat and the king goat and all the different, the giraffe, all the different ones by doing different things. So there is always a meaning.
Okay.
Or purpose.
The game that I would think that once you beat Goat Simulator, you need to get a hold of the Geese Game. And
would you have a trailer for it?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to pull her up right now. And the funny thing is that there's like I just in the search bar typed up turn on the Geese Game, and there's like 12 fucking Geese games out there. I'm like, what? They're not all titled the Geese Game. There's like Geese versus Cthulhu and just Geese versus whatever.
What's the name of the one you're wanting to do?
The Untitled Geese Game.
Well, another game I wouldn't mind playing if someone wanted to play it with me would be Lego Batman. I really love that game. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Okay.
Oh my God! You gotta be kidding.
Get them.
I think this is so good.
That's a lot of work they went through to do the graphics and everything for this.
Yeah, I love the fucking the animation for the characters. This is. We're probably going to get kicked off. You have to pause it here. But this game, you just go around this neighborhood and terrorize the shit out of people.
That's what the goat does.
Yeah, but I don't remember does the goat attack people?
Yeah, go get Goat Simulator. Play a little bit of the trailer on here. Yeah, I headbutt people and you stick your tongue on them and you can drag them around. Remember, I had to select people to get the devil goat and put them in the
altar.
But I laughed the whole time because it's so funny.
Yeah.
But you need to show it. It's funny.
But this looks like a fun, silly, stupid game.
Yeah, it's a good game for kids.
I wouldn't go that far. You're a geese.
No, it doesn't matter.
You're,
Kid
My brother was
opportunity there.
traumatized by a geese.
Uh-oh. Here comes the male goose. A little female and a male. Oh,
Organized crime right there.
I like how they waddle around. The Untitled Goose Game. That's cute. See, you're laughing.
Of course I'm laughing. It's a fucking you get to play an asshole. That's like the greatest.
I know, that's what the goat simulator is. You're an asshole. You blow up cars and you run over people, and you just get to be mean to people, terrorize the whole city, trash the whole town.
Okay. Shell, get in touch with Janet. She'll put you directly in touch with people that have space in their games for newbies. And what you want to do is you want to get a set of dice. There's not like normal 6-sided dice. Like you got to go to a game store and get a set of dice. Like they have a 12-sided, a 20-sided, a 10-sided, 8-sided, a 6-sided, and 4-sided.
Like
Typically,
this.
yeah, like what Janet has here.
Amazon has them.
Hold it up. Hold it up.
Well,
Yeah, see those? That's what you want. You want those various different dice there. So this is a it's a good hobby. It's a fun hobby. You laugh, you do a lot of stuff, and then you put it up and you wait for next game, and in between you live your life and enjoy yourself.
Mhm.
Oh, good. She has your number.
Yeah. We're friends on X. So that's why I said, hey, Shell, when I saw her on there.
Anyway.
Thanks, guys. This was good. This was a good movie, too. Very intense.
Jackie, thank you so much for being here today and being part of the moderation crew. I really appreciate you as a person being here, and I hope things are going well for you in that wonderful place where you do live. For all of the rest of you that I don't know, I want you to be well and I want you to be safe. And please don't make it into one of those funny safety videos or dash cam videos that I'm always watching, because I'm the asshole that laughs, and you don't want me laughing at you.